Hey, my name is Isaiah.
And I'm Darius. We're two U.S. Youth Ambassadors.
We're coming at you from Butler High School.
Welcome to another episode of Unified Talks.
On today's episode, we're going to continue to talk about leadership.
Isaiah, how would you define a leader?
A leader to me is someone with a legacy that people can try and follow and understand. Someone who has a message people can really listen to and look up to.
That's powerful. I agree. I think the leader also has the ability to guide people effectively and efficiently.
I think strong leaders are effective because they lead with core values.
Yeah, core values are kind of like our compass. They help us make decisions to meet our goals and stay true to our beliefs.
When we lead with values, we gain respect from others.
As inclusive youth leaders, we value 4 very important things:
inclusion, respect, meaningful involvement, and equity.
I actually think a lot of people value these 4 things. We should see what these values mean to others at our school.
I think we should include everyone watching too.
Great idea, Isaiah. That's why you're such a good leader. You really follow that inclusive mindset and think of ways to get everyone involved, even if they're watching from somewhere else. Inclusion means accepting all people as equals. It means all people have access to the same opportunities as everyone else.
Darius, we are inclusive. We make sure our school has a lot of inclusive opportunities from the Unified Club of Unified Sports.
Before we check in with Ms. D, let's give our viewers a second to think about how they lead with inclusion in mind.
Press pause and write down how you lead with inclusion in your life. Resume when you are ready to hear Ms. D. All right, let's go find her. Hey. Are you an inclusive leader?
Well, Isaiah, yeah, I am.
Well, how do you practice inclusiveness at David W. Butler?
Well, first of all, I started as the advisor for the Unified Club over 10 years ago. And then 2 years ago, we got the Unified Lifetime Sports as physical education class for all students of high school. And then, of course, in my health and PE classes, I try to get everybody included, whether it's students with intellectual disabilities, different ethnicities, cultures, or just different skill sets to be included in everything that we do in class.
Next up, respect. As leaders, we need to build respectful relationships with each other, even those who have differences from ourselves.
When we respect and work to understand each other, we become better leaders and we reach out to more people. So even if somebody has a viewpoint that you disagree with or says something that rubs you the wrong way, remember that they are allowed to have their own opinion.
If you keep an open mind, you might end up understanding where they're coming from and grow an appreciation for their viewpoint.
I try to treat people the way I want to be treated. It's an easy thing to keep in mind and do. How about you? How do you show respect to those who are different from you?
Think for a second. Do I take a second before I react? Do I ask some more questions to understand where they're coming from?
Press pause and reflect. When you resume, we'll learn from Nathan.
Oh, hey Nathan.
Hey. How's it going?
Are you an inclusive leader?
Yes.
How do you show respect?
By helping others.
Meaningful involvement is our 3rd core value as inclusive leaders. It means to provide meaningful roles to everyone in the group.
Yeah, I think about each person's strengths and put them together in positions where their strengths can shine.
This is what will help the group work together and find success.
It will also strengthen relationships between the leaders and other group members.
The key part of meaningful involvement is, being meaningful.
You shouldn't just create a diverse group to look inclusive. Your group should be inclusive. Everyone should have a key role. Our friend Rebecca is a great leader, especially at Unified Club. She always tries to make sure every member of the group has a meaningful role.
But before we talk with her, you know the drill. Press pause and jot down how you make sure members of your team or group have meaningful roles. Resume when you're ready to continue.
Are you an inclusive leader?
Yes, I am.
Can you tell us how you make sure everyone has a meaningful role?
Of course. Working in a group or by themselves, I like to make sure that people are delegated what they like to do best. That's why I find the most meaningful role to be.
All right, this last value is super important, equity.
Equality and equity can be confusing, so let's break those down by looking at pictures.
In the first one, the 3 fans are all behind the fence. Each fan is a different height, so only one can see over the fence. Each fan has a block to help see over the fence, but the fan in the wheelchair cannot get on the block, so they can't see the game.
This is equality because all 3 fans get the exact same blocks, but just because the support is the same doesn't mean all the fans can see over the fence.
In the second one, everything is the same as the first except for the supports given to the fans. The shorter fan has 2 blocks to help them see. The fan in the wheelchair has a ramp. Each person has a different support based on what they need.
This is equity because they all have an opportunity to be part of watching the game. When it comes to leadership, it is important to give each person in the group the opportunity to support and the space they need to be successful. Work with your group, not for them.
As inclusive leaders at our school, we make sure students of all abilities can play sports, join clubs, and lead events. We work to find a way to get all students involved.
How about you? What are some things you can do to make sure everyone is treated fairly?
Pause here and write down how you lead with equity in mind. Come back to us when you're ready. If you want to learn more about how you can advocate for others, check out the Unified Talks episode with Myron and Chloe. They give examples on how you can advocate for others and make sure everyone has equal opportunities. We've just covered 4 key values of inclusive leaders.
And gave examples of how those values can help guide your actions as a leader.
We hope you were able to learn a little about your leadership values along the way.
If you want to continue to learn more about these values,
or how to be an inclusive leader,
watch the Inclusive Youth Leadership Training videos on the Generation Unified YouTube channel.
Bye, guys.
Subscribe.
You can't.
We'll see you later.
Like, bye, not subscribe. Put on post notifications and
Yeah, like the video.